Hey guys, Musa here, and today I'm bringing you my Week 8 preview of the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, let's kick it off with the injury report. Now, out of all the players that are injured, Marquise Blair, who suffered a knee injury, is out for this game, while tackle Dwayne Brown with an illness, and Alex Collins with a groin injury, and guard Damian Lewis with a shoulder injury are all questionable for this game. But some other injuries that are unknown their status at this time, you got Brandon Shell with an ankle injury, you got also a foot injury for DK Metcalf, John Reed with a knee injury, Darrell Taylor's neck injury, elbow injury for Jordan Brooks, and honestly, out of all these players, I think the only one that will not play in this game will most likely be Brandon Shell. Now, out of all of the ones that the status is unknown. But I think that, honestly, Seattle's hampered with injuries, and the heaviest of all being Russell Wilson. But regardless of that, I think the Seattle Seahawks will do a decent job against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, their defensive tackle, Jay Tufele, I think I said it wrong. He's out with a hand injury, while Tyson Campbell and Devon Hamilton are questionable with a toe and shoulder injury, respectively. Now, for the players that are, their status is also unknown, just like in the Seattle Seahawks. We got Ben Bratch with a concussion, which is most likely he's not going to play. And then you get a back injury from Miles Jack. Ross Rasisic, I don't know if I said that long, but the long snapper has a hamstring injury. And Tyler Shatley with a groin injury. Now, honestly, if I'm going to say for sure, the only one of the ones that are unknown, I think is definitely going to be Ben, the O-lineman. He with a concussion, unless he can actually participate in practice, which he has done. I think that he still should be held out from this game. Concussions are heavy factors to football, and honestly, a concussion could ruin not only your football life, but your regular life. So I suggest they get him off the field at least for 1 week and let him pass concussion protocol once again. Now, on to the starting offense of the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith will again start at quarterback, while Jacob Eason will serve as his backup quarterback until Russell Wilson returns. Now, at running back, we got Alex Collins and Rashad Penny. If Alex can't go, we got DJ Dallas and Travis Homer ready. Nick Bellor at the fullback position, and the wide receivers, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Freddie Swain, and Penny Hart are there, while Gerald Everett and Will Dissly at the tight end position, and then the starting offensive line being Dwayne Brown, also Brandon Shell, Gabe Jackson, Damian Lewis, and Kyle Fuller. Now, Ethan Posich, maybe he can go, maybe he can't. I'm not sure about his status right now, but for now, I see this offensive line is going to be decent. Hopefully, Gabe Jackson doesn't do stupid things on the field, but honestly, I think that this team's going to do all right against the Jaguars. If the Jaguars cannot get to like Geno Smith like the every other team has, because the Seahawks offensive line is like tissue paper. And honestly, I think that this is the game that Geno Smith will get his first win as a Seattle Seahawk starting quarterback. Now, on to the defense, and we got Rasheem Green and Kerry Hyder at the starting defensive end position. Poona Ford will be the nose tackle, while Al Woods will be the defensive tackle. Now, this defensive line, I think it's going to be an alright defensive line. Carlos Dunlap, Robert Condici, and Brian Moan can come in. LJ Collier as well. I think we're alright on that position. Then we go to linebacker, where Benson Mayowa, Bobby Wagner, and Jordan Brooks are there. Darrell Taylor, hopefully he gets better. I don't think they should play him. And then we got Cody Barton as well. And John Rattigan as well. Nick Bellor as well. And Alton Robinson. These guys should get some reps. Even Nick Bellor, even though he's a fullback, he has been doing fine as a linebacker. So he should get some reps there. Maybe replace him with Benson Mayowa. I don't know, but maybe give him some reps this game. And then you get cornerbacks Sidney Jones and DJ Reed. And Trey Brown's there. Blessuan Austin is there. And so is John Reed. But then we get to the safeties where we got Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams. Now, as I stated, the secondary of the Seattle Seahawks sucks. And honestly, we're probably going to give up some touchdowns deep because that's how bad we are. Honestly, I have full faith in Sidney Jones and DJ Reed. But is that going to be good enough? No, I don't know. But I think that we're going to give up a few touchdowns by long passes. And honestly, I'd rather see the Seahawks lose because of an offensive failure than a defensive failure. But if we do, we're most likely going to lose due to a defensive failure. Now, on to the Jaguars, and their offense will consist of Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft at quarterback, James Robinson and Carlos Hyde at running back, Laviska Shenault, Marvin Jones, and DJ Chark at the wide receiver positions, and Chris Manhertz as the tight end. And their starting offensive line consists of Cam Robinson, Andrew Norwell, Brandon Linder, AJ Cann, and Jawan Taylor. Now, when I see this offense, I see an offense that has potential. Not really putting an effort right now. But they do have very big potential for great things. Especially when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. Hopefully we can get to see Travis Etienne next year, as he actually was out for the entire season due to an injury. I think it was a torn ACL in the offseason. Well, not in the offseason. In the preseason while at practice. So hopefully he gets back for 2022. But speaking of this game, I think that they will have to throw it deep for Marvin Jones or even Laviska Shenault or even DJ Chark, because they Seattle defensive backs, except for Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs, maybe no longer Jamal Adams, but I'm still there. But when it comes to the Seattle defensive backs, I think that the Jaguars have them burnt. Now, on to their defense, where defensive ends will be Roy Robertson Harris and Malcolm Brown. And then we got nose tackle Devon Hamilton. Now, when I see this lineup of defensive linemen, I am not really that scared. But don't underestimate the opposing team. Never underestimate any other team. Because if you do that, then bad things will happen. And I know if I say, oh, this defensive line doesn't look scary, like they're not Aaron Donald or anything like that, well, we're going to get smoked if I say that. So I'm going to be hopeful and say that maybe they're not good. But I'm going to say this. I can't guarantee that. And I'm never going to guarantee that. Never will you hear me guarantee, unless the line is tissue paper, you're never going to see me guarantee any defensive line against the Seattle offensive line like this one. Now, at linebacker, we got the middle linebackers being Damian Wilson and Miles Jack. Now, linebackers on the outside, we got Josh Allen and Cleveon Chason. Now, these, honestly, I think that it's going to be a decent linebacking core, especially with Jack and Wilson in the middle, and even Josh Allen in the outside. But Chason, I'm not really that much on it. But I think that the linebacking core is really going to be trouble for Seattle, regardless of the fact that they're not as good as I claim them to be. I claim them to be a decent linebacking core, but they could be bad. Honestly, I think it's going to be a game where it's going to be more of the Seahawks running the football, even if Carson doesn't play. And then we get on to the defensive backs, Shaquille Griffin and Trey Herndon, Shaquille Griffin, the former cornerback of the Seattle Seahawks. And at safeties, we got Rashawn Jenkins and Andrew Wingard. Now, when it comes to their defensive backfield, it's clear that the number one guy is Shaquille Griffin. He was an incredible player for the Seattle Seahawks, but has not really lived up to his contract in Jacksonville. But regardless of that, I think that they'll do a decent job against Seattle. And honestly, this defense should be able to stop Seattle multiple times, but I think Seattle could squeeze out the win. Now, in conclusion, I'm going to say this. The Seattle Seahawks win this 17-16. I'm really losing hope on Seattle winning games without Wilson. But I think if we can't win this game without Wilson, then there's no game we can win without Wilson. This season, if we continue to have Geno Smith, not saying he's a bad quarterback for the Seahawks, but it's mostly because Russell Wilson is the leader of that team. And he leads the team even if he's the only guy doing anything, really, when it comes to the offensive line. Not protecting Wilson. There's no way Geno Smith is going to do the same things as Wilson. So 16-17 win for Seattle. But if we lose, well, there goes the Seahawks season. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also, tell me down in the comments below, who do you think is going to win? And who is your favorite team? And who is your favorite player of these two teams? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it. Subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.